Okay, day 3. It looks like my face is getting better, but I actually think it's bad this morning when I woke up. I had to reduce this, this, the grapeseed extract, because in this one is the grapeseed extract, and I have to be careful with that one. And then I'm spraying this, and then I have 7 bottles over there of supplement. When I first went to the hospital the first time, they said I had a kidney infection, maybe a stone. And this is why, like today, it makes it really hard. And so I took her antibiotics, which in my stomach, if you have, some Candida from a vaginal infection, so much pain, then it goes to step 2. And I didn't know I had Candida overgrowth. I always had this rash. And I gotta go make my stomach before I start puking. So when I first went to the hospital, they said I had a kidney infection. The second time I went, they said I had, it's hard for me to concentrate. I don't think people understand what it feels like when you can't really focus and you can't walk. So then then the next step was I had to go back, and they said, well, go to your doctor. Well, honey, if I could have gone to my doctor, I would be there, plus insurance, plus the wait time. So she sent me out of there. And I guess when I discovered things were not right is right about then, because I had a vaginal odor that couldn't even be described, and I have to up the Vasilium. The clay's fine. Vasilium actually helps you go to the bathroom because you're toxic, which I'll take if I'm like, constipated, like Benefiber, and the clay helps you absorb it. Because when all that stuff gets dumped, it's something like 30 billion or million, 30 billion bacteria that are just attacking your body. Because once you attack Candida, it drops in your stomach. It's just all over the place. And you're detoxing the liver too. Pip, I don't know what you're up to, but it's not right. So if I don't drink this in the morning, I get really nauseous, because all night I've been making Candida. My yeast is everywhere. Smartest thing you could ever do is drink the clay or Vasilium, and then start doing colonics, because that'll help pull it out. So that number 2 hospital visit. Then I went hospital 3, and they said, come back if you have pain. So I had more pain, so I went back the next day. And it just came on like an attack. It seemed like it was better, but it wasn't. And I didn't want to be on narcotics all day because I'm vegan, non-GMO, whatever. This all started after spring. So I've tried everything. I mean, even Western medicine, because I knew they put me on antibiotics. And usually when I go on antibiotics, I get really sick. One of the girls on the trucker website said, make sure you're taking a probiotic with the antibiotic. And that really helped a lot. So the first time they were like, there's a lot of bacteria and there's a lot of blood in your urine. And the second time they were like, bacteria is present, but there's nothing wrong with you. Well, I knew there was something wrong with me because I never become this incapacitated. So then I look up eczema, because I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, this is an outer symptom of something going on. I never expected to find Candida overgrowth. I just happened to bump into it. Thank God. It's like sludge, but hey, it's going to help me go to the bathroom. He asked me how my bowels were. He said I had bowel in my stool. Well, that's hard for me to believe because I eat so many vegetables. But at that point, a little check went in my head. Maybe I'm not enough, dark leafy greens. And since spring, we don't have any fresh. I don't have any in the garden, so I decreased and didn't mean to. I watched this video on eczema, and I realized that my symptoms are a lot like hers, this little girl. And I go to look more into it, and there I am, right there in Candida overgrowth. So when I get home, the idiot that I am, I want it to go away fast, so I take every single antifungal. Well, that just, the first day I didn't feel anything. Second day I wake up is when all the, my nose. It's getting slightly better, but now it's burning. So I started eating the coconut oil, which I'm going to do right now. And I started doing oil pulling. And the reason I'm making these videos is because people don't really show, they only show like after the fact. And a lot of people with Lyme's disease will show their herxs disease or illness. So it's a product of a result of pulling every toxin out of your body in a very massive way. Unfortunately, people with Lyme's, they get better, but they have to go through this really bad, and that's exactly where I'm at. The first day I was just, oh God, I can't even tell you how bad it was. And the second day, yesterday was pretty bad. And I tried to go to the bathroom, and it just didn't want to come out. And I couldn't believe it, because here I am drinking this Vasilium, which is supposed to help you, plus the water, plus everything. And I'm sitting here going, you got to be kidding me. Plus I upped my magnesium, which helps you go to the bathroom. Because if you're not going and going and going, it just keeps that in your system, and I want it to come out. So I started examining my life, and I started seeing all kinds of loopholes. And when I first wake up, I have a little bit of not so brain foggy, and then it hits, and then I'm on the couch. And for a strong person like me, this is not fun. The pain will kick in the next hour. And yesterday, all I could do was just drink coconut water and dark green salad. And I had to gag it down with a little apple cider vinegar, coconut oil, and nutritional yeast, which I hear is not a bad yeast, so it's okay. But maybe it's totally wrong. But I researched it yesterday because I need something to eat because I'm puking it up. So I'm in herxs, and when people show it, it's just, so I'm going through a kit. But I wanted to get all the antifungals so I can continue, because Candida overgrowth it rotates. It's like it cures over here, but then it goes over there. So when I went to the hospital, they seen a blemish on my liver. And they keep seeing bacteria, but they can't tell me where it's at. Most of Americans, 70-90%, have it. And some have it, it starts developing cancers and slight things that you're used to having. But me being vegan, I'm so healthy that I don't get things like this anymore. So when I get these things, I'm just like, wow. And Western doctors have no real, unless they have a natural approach, they don't know what to do with it. And so if you can't get into your doctor right away, you have to be careful. Don't just just slow down. Don't try to hit it too hard, because you'll go through the herxs really bad. So how I'm gonna do this, I don't know. I can't even think. So I have no concentration, I have extreme fogginess, I have fatigue, and I have pain. And there's times when the chills are so bad it's in my joints. And Westerners just don't believe it. They just don't get it. They don't know. It's just like with veganism, you know, they'll say, how much protein are you getting? It's like, come on, guys. We don't need a whole lot. So when this rash developed, I had been in the garden in the spring, and I was, this spray really helps. It's a clove and peppermint, and it tastes funny. I had an existing condition. At that point, it was only right here, and I kept trying to fix it so it would just go away, the symptom, right? And I started having like incontinence issues. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I had to pee, and it would wake me up, and I'm a really deep sleeper, so I would get up, go pee, and then in the morning it would do the same thing, and that's not like me. And so I thought it was old age and that I was getting incontinence, and I was just, you know, I have a tip bladder, so it's just in there. I got to push it out. I got to drink more liquid. And it just didn't go away. And it wasn't like a yeast infection. It was like extreme pain. And then as soon as the pee was out, and I couldn't release the pee, and I kept telling my husband, and he's like, oh, you know, you're sick and old, and you probably have bladder cancer or something. I'm like, no, there's something wrong with my bladder. So when all this hit, I thought it was an issue that was occurring, and that, God, I'm itchy, and I have a rash all over my stomach, which happened the night they gave me the antibiotics. So if I have Candida overgrowth and they hit me with major antibiotics, you're going to have a flare-up. Well, I knew I was already cheating on my diet. I thought if you ate evaporated cane juice, it was okay. I don't know why I thought that. It just, in my mind, I was thinking it was okay. And I was getting busier and busier with other things, so I became less busy with treating myself. And I noticed this bowel issue, and when it would come out, it really hurt. And so now I have stinging of the vaginal area and the anal cavity. I have this itching that cannot be described, which is a symptom, and it's also a symptom of herxs. So, when I go to the bathroom, I just don't want to do it. Last night I was in there, doubled over, and tried to stretch out my stomach, and I just couldn't do it. And I puked, and what came out was just blew my mind. And vegans go to the bathroom a lot, and it's normal, and it doesn't hurt, so I knew that was going wrong. I kept thinking fiber, 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 and yet I was still eating the evaporated cane juice. And all kinds of products. I just had changed my products up, and I haven't had it, I don't think, for that long. I was given a lot of antibiotics when I was a kid. I was over a crop plane, which I know people with crop planes in their younger years really suffer now, because the old insecticides were actually put on top of me, and so I was breathing it, eating it. It was everywhere. And we also used to play in the ditch, and just, you know, my whole childhood was just insecticides. So I need colloidal silver, and I probably, to grab those metals and push them out, I probably need a complete master cleanse. I probably need to juice every day, all day long, and then I need to go through Gerson's therapy at some point. I'm hoping Dr. Kelly, he's in Montana right now, but I live in Colorado, so when Dr. Kelly comes, he'll consult with me over the phone, and I can tell him everything I'm taking, and he can give me some kind of diet, It's hard to look up Candida overgrowth because people say, eat this, eat that, do this, do that. It's not true. I mean, there's just so many different opinions, and I'm trying to nail it down, but the symptoms are coming: burping, bloated, irritability of the bowel, and itching, vaginal pain, lower abdominal pain. Now it's starting to come up. An unexplainable rash on my stomach that doctors could not define. An unexplainable rash, which today it actually looks better, but it's not. It feels horrible. They say it's supposed to get worse before it gets better. So believe me, when I cure this thing, I'm going to know exactly. Chelation therapy is probably a good option. I have headaches, hot and cold chills, which last night I was sweating, which that was good. Dizziness, disorientation, I can't even tell you. You can't think. You can't even, whatever your life was before, you just have to stop it. And I'm doing a little bit of caffeine just so I can move, and the dogs, and it's just horrific. Most Americans have it and they don't even know it, and they keep it at bay by eating more sugar. And then then they get cancers and what have you. Vegans don't want that. Well, vegans still eat gluten. So the ones that are no gluten, I've seen people with this illness because I used to be in a Facebook group that was raw. So I've seen this illness with other people, and it's the most popular Facebook group all over. And they really are artists of holistics and internal medicine and what you should do. I'm not a part of the group nor, because they're a bunch of snobs. And I heard this all the time: Candida, 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 die off, die off, die off. So I heard it but didn't associate it with myself, because many of them are very ill, very ill. I mean, cancers, they're curing, they're keeping things at bay, Lyme's disease, hypothyroid. I mean, just name it, and they are trying to beat it with a raw diet. So there's raw, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's lacto-vegan, there's octo-vegan. I mean, there's so many. I am a vegan, which boo-booed. I didn't boo-boo and eat meat or a meat product, but or a milk product, but I boo-booed in the cane sugar, and other kinds of sugar. I never do high fructose because I can read it and I know not to drink it, or eat it. So, and I don't do gluten, and I had increased glutens, which is a very bad source of sugar, plus the grains. This bubble on the side of my nose was so bad that, I don't know if you can see it, it was like a blister, and it's feels like it's de-elevating. I thought of calling church and seeing if they would come and pray for me, and this is just insane. Day 3, I'm doing a chronology of like day 1, day 2, day 3. There's a lot of people that don't want to deal with herxs, Meyer, and you can, and I understand different people's theory on not going through it. They just don't want to deal with it. And me, I'm crazy to the wall, whatever. I know I'm using regular chapstick. I'm desperate. The coconut oil just goes into my skin. So, eating coconut oil, doing step 1 of Can Destroy, calling my naturopath. I'm not seeing any more Western doctors. They're insane. They don't even know what they're talking about. And they look at my blood work, they see things, and then they don't do anything about it. They see things in my bowel, they do nothing about it. They see things in my urine and do nothing about it. It just makes me so mad, but I can't think about that. And I want to send a maid service here just to clean up, because I don't like a dirty house. So I'm very not myself, and the nausea is something that I can't even. I'm terrified of the nausea. It was so bad, you can't even walk. I mean, I've had nausea before in my life. I'm not a baby, and I'll tell you this right now: that nausea, no, I've never had nausea like that in my life. And Well, maybe if I had a severe hangover, but I don't drink alcohol. Once it was out, it was out. They've kind of paralleled this to a major hangover, and it's like that, but it just never stops. When people hear about people being sick, they don't get it unless they're living with it or they're very compassionate. And I went to urgent care because I seriously thought I had a kidney stone, and if we dealt with the kidney stone, I would be done with it. And I don't record when I'm puking because it just comes up and it's just too fast. Right now I'm trying to get this stuff down in me so I don't puke. Once it comes out, it feels great. But there's a combination of things you can take, and you have to be really careful when you take them, how you take them, how much you take them, because you can throw yourself in herxs just so severely, and I can't imagine it getting worse than this. Last night I felt a little bit better, but then as soon as I feel a little bit better, here it comes, like the nausea is coming right now. So I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I hope that when people are in day 3, they feel less alone. And I'm very alone here with the dogs. My husband's not here, so these symptoms are not discovered by Western doctors. And I made an appointment. I have to make an appointment to consult with my naturopath who lives 2 hours away, which my husband can take me to on Tuesday, but he's in Montana, so oh, for the love of God. It's $100 an hour, but there's a reason why he's $100 an hour. It's $100 an hour because he's great. Just not happy right now. A part of you wants to eat a cookie because you think it'll stop it, but you can't. You can't give up. You can't. And I didn't have a nightmare last night, which is good. Those nightmares were horrible. They were like a night terror. My lips were blue yesterday. Circulation. So I'm going to post this, and you can do it. If you have Candida overgrowth, it can be done. It's not fun. Try coconut water. That helped a lot. Pure coconut water with just its natural sugar. It's only like 1 sugar per liter. Just suck that down. Really, really helps. And eat coconut oil and get a 2-part kit, and then get the 50 million probiotic in the refrigerated section. They kept showing me one yesterday, and I was so ill, and I'm like, hello, can I get one without dairy? I'm a vegan. Jesus. I'm mad about the store. I couldn't get it done. I begged them for help. They were so cruel. And if I went to Vic Cottage, they would be so nice. But here, no. Not at the old Sproutage. So, this is day 3. Went through cancer, and it was hard, but okay. 10 o'clock, I gotta start my day. Everything's spinning around, so for you, those of you that have it, we can do it. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we can do it.